Hey everyone, Tim here from SnapAttack. Let's dig into this week's Threat Snapshot. So we're going to be looking at a Russian crimeware group known as TA505, sometimes alias to EvilCorp or one of the other many names for this group. And we're going to be taking a look at their campaign around this TESLAGUN controller as well as the SerVHelper malware. There's been some recent intelligence that's been put out about this, which really exposed more of the backend infrastructure and server side of things, really the TESLAGUN. And you may have seen it in threat intelligence articles like this, where they talk about the attacker and their profile, or maybe you even went to the source here. So Prodaft, they're a European cyber intelligence and cybersecurity services firm. And earlier this month, they just opened up this threat intelligence report, which is a really good in-depth look. And we'll talk through here about ServHelper, which is the malware that they install on the machine, which gives them their backdoor access. And really the newsworthy part about this was the TESLAGUN control panel. So again, this is the dashboard where this implant beacons back to and where they control all of their infected machines. You can see here all of the different pages of those and all the notes and categorizations about this, which again really gave an insight into how this threat actor works. Again, they are a criminal organization. They are financially motivated. So you can see different accounts where they might tag an infection with sell or sell to, where it's not really interesting enough for them to install, say, a crypto miner or profit from it. So they may sell this to another criminal organization. So it's just definitely some interesting stuff here. You can take a look, but they do categorize quite a bit about the campaigns, the infections, and this was just really a nice inside look at their backend infrastructure, which is rarely seen. Most often malware analysis is looking at what's on the victim machines, and you don't get these kind of insights. So definitely recommend checking out this report. But today we're actually going to dive in and take a look at this ServHelper malware that they install. So this has been used going back to at least 2019. It has changed a little bit over time. They have different ways that they install this. Usually it's through a spear phishing campaign, or they're masquerading as, say, an update for Chrome or some other piece of software on the machine. Again, if you're tracking TA505, EvilCorp, Wasted Locker, SocGolish, lots of other tools and campaigns here, similar TTPs. So we have a sample of this malware. We detonated in SnapAttack. Can take a look at the video here. Not a lot that's going to happen interestingly on the video here, but this does light up quite a bit on our process graph because they are using a lot of living off the land techniques. And you can see quite a bit of detection opportunities here. So I'm going to pivot on over to our process graph here. So we can see we've got our CMD shell. We launch the malware here. The malware is going to launch PowerShell and then run several different commands, launching several PowerShell script blocks and running those, which are going to do other various tasks. Again, this is really kind of that initial infection. So their goal is to establish persistence on the machine, set up backdoor accounts, and communicate back to their C2 servers. So you're going to see commands here like opening up RDP if that's not already open so that they can access this remotely. They also do have some proxying code in there so they can connect to these RDP instances on non-internet facing machines. And then they also have, again, their backdooring accounts. So we see them here adding to the administrators group the NT Authority Network Service account and starting up, again, terminal services or the RDP client and things. So again, lots of different detection opportunities here. If we want to pivot over to Splunk where we have some of these logs, again, like I mentioned, this threat actor uses a lot of living off the land techniques. They use a lot of PowerShell, and if you have PowerShell module and script block logging enabled in your environment, this is going to be very easy to detect. A lot of their scripts are going to obviously be obfuscated, base64 encoded and XOR encoded and gzipped, and you'll see a lot of kind of large blocks of things kind of like that, which aren't going to mean anything on the command line. But again, these script block logs do a good job of showing what the actual commands are that's passed to PowerShell. We can see here that there's many different commands that they're doing. So this is them opening up the RDP connection, via registry. What's interesting with a lot of this stuff that you'll see is, again, their commands. You'll see a lot of comments in their code. It's quite sloppy in my mind. So it does definitely leave some things to some additional detection opportunities, which we'll talk about in a second here. Just kind of calling out in this file, kind of this initial connection script. Again, you can see here they're doing some time stomping, trying to modify the system files to make them look like these have been older. There was a cool thing here. You can see they're using WMI with, they're calling the video controller, and they're checking the size in megabytes of the video card. Again, this is a way to get around virtual machines and sandboxes because most often than not, they don't have a video card or a large video card. So this is a way to kind of stop execution for additional stages. So definitely some interesting stuff here in this. Again, if you were looking for detection opportunities, could take a look at a detection like this here, enabling RDP services via reg, high confidence or highest confidence, high severity, compatible with a lot of environments. And again, you could just go through here and one-click deploy. Going back again to ServHelper and this threat intelligence report from Prodaft, definitely some interesting pieces here. And again, I do want to point out that really the novel part of this intelligence was the TESLAGUN contributions. ServHelper Malware has been around for several years, has gone through several iterations, and this report itself, I'll show too, was really updated and released mainly for the TESLAGUN pieces. So one of the things that they mention here is this WGA util account that's being used as a backdoor. You can see some of their commands where they're creating that user, adding it to administrators group, remote desktop users group, and things of that nature. So that definitely is a way that you can hunt for this. Again, if I scroll all the way to the bottom here, you can take a look at the history. So this team has been tracking this. So these infections back in January of 2001. Again, this was internally circulated TLP red. This open version that was redacted to TLP white released earlier this week. You can see here just based on the history that some of these tradecraft have changed. And this is something that we even saw in our sample here. Obviously, there's lots of different samples of ServHelper. But the thing that I wanted to kind of call out here is, again, you can still see, again, a lot of the history and evolution of their code. So they're doing a bunch of different jobs here. So you can see that they're opening up, this is Windows Defender, the MP preferences, and they're saying, hey, I want to exclude things that are on the WGA util accounts desktop, which is actually being run even though we're not showing any evidence of that account being created. You can also see here some of these things, again, fun, where they have the items commented out. So for whatever reason, they decided to run this as a job rather than run this inline. So as long as these comments, as long as these things are still here, these sort of detections will be able to be picked up. And again, we do have detections like this in SnapAttack where we can use our PowerShell 4104 and other event logs to search for that string WGA util account, which has been part of the threat for quite a while. Again, they may not be creating the account anymore. We do have detections for that, which certainly work for some past infections, but obviously as the threat and the threat actor involve, they're going to change up their tradecraft a little bit. So this is still a decent detection. And again, you can one-click deploy it with SnapAttack to something like Microsoft Sentinel, to make sure that you're protected and have defenses against this in your environment. So anyways, that's our snapshot for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.